Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Have you ever finished a session feeling drained or your client may be feeling a little raw or unsettled? Well, you might be thinking, oh, I just need better skills. But what if it's not about technique or skills at all? What if the thing shaping your session the most is something that you were never taught? And it's called a container. Once you understand it, everything starts to make way more sense. So, what is a container? In energy healing, a container is a structure that holds the session. It's both practical and energetic. It includes the physical space, the time frame, the agreements between you and your client, your boundaries, and the intentions behind the work. I like to think of it as banks of a river. Without the banks, water spreads out and loses its momentum. But with them, the current has direction. It moves with focus and purpose. A container works the same way. It gives the energy of the session somewhere to go. Once you start to understand containers, you begin to see them everywhere. The 50-minute therapy hour, confidentiality, even something as simple as a well-run meeting. These structures exist because they create safety and focus for the people inside of them. I worked for this one company where people would randomly put meetings on your calendar with no agenda, no clear purpose, no understanding of what was to be expected. And I dreaded them. It felt stressful walking into something that I didn't even know what my role was or even how to prepare. And the meetings themselves were usually messy because nobody was aligned, because nobody had forewarning about what was even going on. When a space feels grounded and productive, it's often because the container is working. When it feels chaotic or drained, sometimes the structure has broken down. Healing work is no different. A container isn't a restriction, it's what supports the work. Why containers matter in a session? A lot of practitioners focus on technique, the modalities they're using, the tools they've learned, and the insights coming through. But the depth and safety of a session are shaped just as much, if not more, by the container holding it. When a container is strong, a few things tend to happen naturally. The client's nervous system begins to settle. There's a sense of being held, which allows deeper material to come forward without overwhelming them. The session has direction. Instead of feeling scattered, the energy organizes around a clear intention. You, as a practitioner, stay more grounded in yourself. You're less likely to take on what isn't yours or even push beyond your own capacity. And when the session ends, it actually feels complete. The client leaves more clear and grounded, not raw or exposed. The practitioner comes across as professional and that they know what they are doing. Now let's talk about what a weak container looks like. When the container isn't well established, there are some patterns that tend to show up. As a practitioner, you might notice sessions running longer than they should because it feels hard to stop. You might feel emotionally heavy afterwards, or find yourself thinking about your clients hours later. Sometimes there's a subtle sense of responsibility for their healing. On the client side, it can feel different but related. They might leave a session feeling exposed or unsettled, like something was open but not fully closed. Even if the session seemed good, there can be a sense that something didn't quite land. These experiences might not be just around skill or intention. They could point to something structural, the container itself. Let's talk about the relationship between containers and transformation. Before deep work can happen, a person needs to feel safe. This is how the nervous system is wired. When the body detects safety, it begins to shift out of protection and into a state that allows openness and change. When it doesn't feel safe, it stays guarded. And guarded systems don't transform, they manage, they cope, but they don't fundamentally shift. This is where the container does its quiet work. The structure itself communicates safety before the technique is even applied. When a client knows the time is held, the purpose is clear, and the practitioner is steady, something in the body begins to settle. There's enough safety to be real. And that's where the real work actually starts to happen. Containers also shape what happens after the session ends. When a session closes cleanly with a clear sense of completion, the client system has space to integrate. And integration is where a lot of the transformation actually takes root. Over time, consistent containers build trust. When someone returns to the same structure again and again, their nervous system begins to become familiar with it. Each session becomes easier to drop into. The work can go deeper, not because the technique has changed, but because the container is now established. In the next video, I'm going to walk through what actually makes a strong container, the specific pieces that hold it together, the parts that are often overlooked, and how you can start building one in your sessions. Because once you understand that, the way you hold the work starts to change. If this resonated with you, I would love to hear about it in the comments. If you liked the video and would like to learn more about energy healing, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Remember to tune in, listen deeply, shift completely, and bloom. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in the next video. It's going to be really good. Thank you.